Hello, Rochelle White. Good morning. How is New Zealand? Shegun Fatuma, good morning. Kennedy Festus, Amonike Ikeade, Eric Lindu, Ladi Shoronke, Abby Coach, Lucinda Macaulay, Joshua Hedrick, Abraham De Jesus, Lola Shoronke. Welcome, good morning. Oluwafunmilayo, Moses Iroko, Alice Obazi, Usheshuku Amadi, Amy Bobby, Stella Feintola. Welcome. Florence Oluwawumi, Mofelola Hararome, Joe Jones, Gift Blessing, Bolaji Martins, Mayowa, Paul Awodele, Anastasia McDonald, Yomi Jegede, Yetunde Awolese, Anastasia McDonald, Davida, wow, Dr. Sufficient is here after a month-long campaign and victory for becoming a bestseller on Amazon. T.Y. Feintola, Gladys Nwosu, Michael Lopez, Lemshi Shide. Well, as you are coming in, let's go and share the link. Let's go ahead and share the message, the link. So go look for the share button under your video and let's quickly go and share that. So let's go share the link, please. And once you've done that, then we'll be ready to go today. You know, this week we are talking about how to become a hero to your child. How to become a hero to your child. So that's what we're talking about the whole week. But today's message is what destroys relationships between parents and their children. What destroys relationships between parents and their children? What is it that destroys relationships between parents and their children? I think that would be an interesting topic for us to explore. Unfortunately, the battle between children and parents have always been epic. They have always been there for ages, and it's a battle of generations. And there are many factors for it, but I'm not going to be talking about the sociological or anthropological factors for the relationship, for the destruction of relationships. So we could talk about the difference in generations. We could talk about the advancement in civilization. We could talk about the fact that, you know, some older people are always conservative, why the new generation are always modernist. We could talk about, you know, reasons. We could talk about progress as a factor that makes, you know, that brings a dichotomy between the children and their parents. We could talk about all those other sociological and psychological and anthropological reasons why there is a bad relationship, or why the relationships are destroyed between parents and their children. But in this particular case, I'm talking in sense of family. So when I'm talking about what destroys relationship between parents and their children, I'm not talking about all the general factors, the scientific factors. I'm talking more about the family issues and relational issues. And so I'm going to base my arguments only on relationships and on what happens in the homes and in families, in homes and families. So here we go. What are the things that could destroy your relationship with your children? Number one, when children discover that the parent or the mother or the father don't keep to their words. When children discover that papa or mother say something and they don't do it. When they discover that you are just manipulating them, they don't like that. Children don't like to see that you are not real. Children want to see that you are real, that you are genuine, and that you are who you say you are. Children want to find out that you are who you say you are, and that you are not fake and you are not a liar. That you are not fake and you are not a liar. So you know what to do. If you really want your children, your relationship with your children to be good and to be steady and not to hit the rock, and to try to be, even if you are wrong, even if you are guilty, try to tell them that, you know what, I was wrong. And it's not a disgraceful thing for parents to actually admit to their children when they were wrong, or that they were wrong in some areas. Let them know that, you know what, I actually missed it there. I was wrong. And if you even they caught you sinning or doing something wrong, let them know that, well, God wanted them to know, and you wanted them to know that you are human too, and that you are susceptible to mistakes or to failure, and just like they too will fail. And you should let your children know that the reason why elders fail and parents fail is not because they are evil, it's just because they are human. That's number one. But the other reason why God will allow, or why sometimes parents and leaders will fail, is so that the people who are under them will also learn. So when I or you as a leader fail, it's an opportunity for our followers, for those people who are following us, to be able to know that, well, so if he could fail, because he's a leader that I respect so much, if he could fail, it means that, I too cannot rely on my strength. By the way, you see somebody Elijah just posted the cards right now. So if you want to help us spread the word about this, our platform, you can follow the link that I just provided, the comment, and you'll be able to download the cards and print them and invite people to this platform. This is what a bishop from America, Bishop Richard, did for us. And, he was just so generous and wonderful of him. I mean, he went and designed that by himself. He brought the idea first, and he saw that we were not working on it. And then he went and did it himself. So he's not a talker, he's a doer. What a man. Anyway, so all of us could take advantage of that and use it. And of course, thanks to Disu, Deola, she also helped us to perfect it. But anyway, here we go. So, sometimes actually you don't paint the picture of absolute perfection and what they call infallibility to your parents or your children. And that's a mistake some parents make. Parents sometimes, especially in our African culture, they come across as if As parents, you cannot do anything wrong. As parents, we are just next to Saint Mary or to the angels. We are the Lord Jesus Christ in the flesh. Yeah, no, let them know that no, you have your own bad days too, and that you could fail and you could miss it, and don't be too proud to apologize to your children, to repent and to confess to them that you are wrong, and they should learn from your experience and they should learn from your mistakes as well. So don't put yourself on a pedestal so high that your children will now be thinking that you are infallible, so that when you fail, then they begin to say, oh wow, he's not perfect after all, or he's just an ordinary human being after all, or he's just as weak as, but why is he lying? Well, why is he pretending? And why is he playing a game? Is life just a game? Is my parents just about games? So if you want your children to really respect you, be authentic with them. Be authentic with them. Be real with them. And, especially when you promise them something. Children are sensitive to promises. I'm going to bring you the gift when I go to America. You go to America, and you just said that you didn't even remember. You didn't even do anything. You didn't bring it. You remembered, even though you say, okay, and you think he has gone to play, he's forgotten. But he remembers it. He remembers it. So if daddy can lie, it means I too can lie. And it's better not to lie. It's better not to promise and to do it, rather than promise and not do it. So the children remember things a lot. They remember things very well. So be authentic with them. If you promise to do something, go ahead and do it, and that will increase your authority before your children. Okay, next point. Like I said, there are different forms of integrity issues that parents have with their children. One is to promise and not to do it. The second form of challenge that children could have with their parents is outright lies and deception. Sometimes parents use lie to just as factors of motivation. So you tell lies, and a lot of, especially in European history, and some of we Africans also, we are copying that European history right now. So people will tell lies, like the stories. They tell stories that, let's say, Santa Claus is coming from somewhere. Tell your children the truth. People say, oh, children they like stories and fairy tale. Yes, they like fairy tale, but tell them the truth. Let your children don't make your children live in the life of fairy tale. Oh, somebody is coming tonight. I used to remember there's some people in Africa also used to do that. Oh, somebody will come tonight and do something tonight. But it didn't come. Nothing came. So all those mysteries and all those superstitions, you shouldn't be using that to raise up your own children. Those are lies. And when they grow up, they will be expecting some superstitions as well. Or they will just think that life is not serious. But you don't want to create an opinion in your children that life is a superstition, life is just a mystery, life is not serious, anything can just happen. Anybody can just tell any story and do anyhow they want. No, let them know the reality of life. Don't use lies as a means of upbringing, as a means of teaching your children. If you use lies to teach them, they will believe in lies. Their foundation will be deceptive. In European mythology, for example, there are a lot of like Cinderella, for example. Cinderella is not bad, but there are so many stories like that make people to think that they can get something for nothing, or that something wonderful can just happen. Like for example, you will live. Let's even take the Cinderella story. They live happily thereafter. Yeah, they live happily thereafter. What is that? What does that mean? They live happily thereafter? Are you sure? So when children then grow up, they are thinking when they meet their Prince Charming, and that when they meet their Prince Charming, then they will just live happily thereafter, no struggles and no problem. That they will not need to struggle, they will not need to pay the price, they will not need to tolerate each other, they will not need to, endure, and they don't even need to get prepared for it. Just met each other, fell in love, and that is one of the reasons that we have so many family problems today. Because all the stories that you read, Cinderella story or other story, oh, this person met this person, they fell in love, and everything just went. They never tell you that there are differences and that you could have differences and that, you have to get to know each other, that you have to struggle, that you have to, humble yourself, that you have to, learn some virtues, you have to learn to be long-suffering, to be patient, to be forgiving. Those things are not even taught to the children. So when they are growing up, they are thinking of, oh, I will meet a girl, or I meet a boy, he will just fall in love with each other and live happily thereafter. Thank God I grew up in a village. I grew up in my own Idobela village, so I don't know those stories, all those books, textbook stories. So the only one I knew was Cinderella, thank God. All the other stories telling of some, wonderful life and without, really the reality of it. I don't even know them. I don't even remember them. So I don't even have examples for you. But you know what I'm talking about. So even the biblical stories, when we use the biblical stories as tools of developing and parenting and nurturing our children, like Goliath and David and Goliath, those are wonderful allegories. Those are, for the children, it's an allegory. We know that is the truth, but for the children, it's a wonderful allegory, because then you could say, you know what, David is a smaller man. And you should tell the children and tell them that this is not just a story. This is a lesson for you. You are small right now, but God wants you to challenge all the principalities, all the Goliath of your generation. So those are the kind of stories that you want to use, because they are based on the truth. And you could take the lessons from them and use those lessons to develop and mentor your children. But those other stories like Muse and Boone, Roman books, Mills and Bones. Well, I don't know the story, but I think the stories of the Bible might be much more authentic and that are based on truth. And don't use lies to try to raise up your children. Use lies and as an instrument of upbringing, it will backfire. It will backfire eventually. Maybe not now, it will backfire later in life when those children are adults and they begin to see that life is not a joke at all, and that life is not an illusion. Life is not just some stories. Life is not some fairy tales. And life is a much more serious business than the things that, than the stories that they've been taught when they were growing up. And so don't use lies. And remember the stories and the promises and the commitments that you telling your children about. Make sure that they are based on the truth and they are verified and they are verifiable, and that they are things that they could use in life to better their lives and to use as principles that will guide them in life. Okay, next point. Next thing that really destroys relationship, because how does that destroy a relationship? Because when your child grows up and it discovers that life is not really like that, it gets really very disappointed. I know people in Nigeria, for example, who used to tell their their children, that they only need to go overseas and they only need to go abroad for them to make it. And when they got abroad, they found out that things are tough abroad. And they got angry against their parents, with their parents. They got angry with their parents and frustrated. So, you want to tell them that abroad is not easy. If you go overseas, you have to work. Things are tough. That you have to make sure that you pay the price. And those are the things you want to tell them. You want to tell them the truth. You don't want to just make them to have some hope that might not materialize. Okay, now this is another announcement here from me about the HMT. Now, I said we are doing HMT from the 2nd to the 6th. It's for students in Ukraine here. But you know, the way things are going, the report I'm getting is that my African students are not very organized yet. So today is the last day that I heard that my team gave to them. If they will not fulfill the conditions they promised me to fulfill, then we are going to cancel that. We are going to cancel that HMT. I'm sorry, guys, but we don't know yet. I think this week we will know for sure if we are going to cancel it or we are going to go ahead with it. But the way it is going now, from the report I'm getting, I want to warn you ahead, those of you who are planning to come for that HMT from the 2nd to the 6th. If the local guys here, if the students here don't perform, you know, we are going to cancel it because I don't have time. We only have time for serious matters, not for people who just talk the talk and cannot walk the walk. Okay. Well, yeah. So next point that could destroy or could be responsible for the destruction of relationship between parents and their children is suspicion. Is for suspicion. If you are constantly suspecting your children, they will also begin to suspect you. So don't sow the seed of suspicion. Don't sow the seed of suspicion in the life of your children. And it's also a very bad thing if your children will begin to suspect you. We don't want that to happen. We don't want. Anastasia said, "I bought my ticket already." Ooh, wow. Ewa Deniji said, "Please don't cancel." Yeah, but I don't want to. You can still come. You can, if you bought your ticket, then you are welcome. You might not be coming for HMT, but you'll be coming to spend time with me. That might even be much more. That might even be much more better. If you bought your ticket, come and stay with me this day. You will enjoy that. I bet you that being around Pastor Sunday anyhow is not going to be a loss. Being around Pastor Sunday will always give you an experience that will be much more than anything you've ever had in your whole life. So it doesn't have to be HMT. Maybe it's even going to be much better for you because HMT will be having a lot of knowledge, a lot of teaching, training. But when you are with Pastor Sunday, just with me alone or with me, with a few people, without any program like that, you can even get much more than for HMT, especially if you have questions and you want to be asking your questions and you'll be meeting with me every day and at least spending a few hours with me. Think about that. Think what that could mean. In fact, there are some people who are not coming for HMT, but who are just coming to spend their new year here. So normally we have that. So people are coming from Europe, people are coming from Africa, people are coming from America, who are just coming to spend time here, not for HMT even. Just want to be around Pastor Sunday. So if you have gotten your ticket already, it's no problem. You will never lose anyway. You are not losing nevertheless. So come and you will have a lot of fun because we have New Year here, our New Year. But what I would advise you to do is to come before the New Year. You want to meet the first here. We have always our crossover night, 31st to the 1st of January. It's always very interesting. It's always a festive time here, and we in the church we always put up some programs, and it's always nice. So if you want to come, it's even better if you come before the 31st or before the 1st. So it's a good thing. So, all right, here we are. Yeah, so the next thing I was talking that destroys relationship between parents and their children is suspicion. Stop being suspicious of your children. Just be suspicious of your children. And instead of being suspicious of them, ask them questions, talk to them, let them know your concerns, let them know of your fears, let them know of your doubts. But if you begin to be suspicious of them, and they begin to be suspicious of you, that you are not trusting them, that you don't love them, or that you don't care for them as such, that might not be so good. So don't, suspicious, being suspicious of each other. And what does suspicion do? Suspicion leads to accusation. Suspicion leads to accusation. And normally suspicion is suspicion is always based on lack of facts. So people who live by suspicion, they don't have their facts right. So, make sure that you act by facts and relate with your children based on truth and facts rather than on, presumptions or assumptions. One fact is always better than 10,000 assumptions. One fact is always better than 10,000 suspicion as well. So instead of living, suspicion destroys relationships. And the same thing with family. These principles I'm giving, they are not just principles about parents and children only. They could apply in any relationship whatsoever. Suspicion will destroy any relationship too. Suspicion will destroy a relationship. It breeds anger. It brings accusation. It brings strain in relationship. It brings a breakdown in communication, and it brings a breakdown in relationship as well. So you don't want to use suspicion as a means of relating with your children. Don't relate with them using suspicion as a weapon. It's better to go talk to them, ask them questions. Tell them about your fears, tell them about your doubts, tell them about the things that worry you or concern you, and iron things out in truth and in sincerity, rather than in suspicion. Being suspicious rather than being suspicious. Okay, again, today's topic is what destroyed relationships between parents and children. What destroyed relationships between parents and children? So I want to give you the next point, but before I do that, I also want to ask you to go share the link first. Let's go share the message so that you could watch it later if you want to, or give it to other people to see. If you look under your video, you'll see the share button. So if you have not yet shared the message, please let's go ahead and share the message today. Let's go share the message. And the next thing that destroys relationship between children, because for children, trust is a big thing. They easily trust. But once that trust is destroyed, a lot of things go wrong. So one of the greatest things you want to give to your children, one of the great legacies that you want to give to them is that trust. You don't want that trust to be destroyed. Trust must not be violated. Trust must not be destroyed. So I'm going to talk about trust from different angles. And the angle that I'm going to use to talk right now, as a factor that destroys relationship, is when you build false hope. When you build false hope. When the children are expecting something, and that hope, something else comes up, and that their hope is dashed. For example, when you say we are going on holidays to Disneyland, for example. We'll go to Disneyland. First time you say we'll go to Disneyland, 1 year you didn't go. Second time you promised you'll go to Disneyland, you didn't do it. Third time we'll go to Disneyland and you didn't do it. I guess you know what that could do to the mindset and to the psyche of that child. Okay, I will allow you to go and spend the night with your friends. Okay, you didn't keep to the word. Okay, I will allow you to next week you go and you have a sleepover. Okay, and the child is happy. I'm going to have a sleepover. I'm going to have, but you as the mother or the father, you know that you are not planning to let him go and have that sleepover because you really don't want him to do it. So you say, okay, next week you will go. So you are hoping that he will forget. And next week it comes to you, but you said, Mommy, you said that we are going to go for a sleepover. Why is it that it didn't happen? Oh, okay, next time. Okay, and it's hoping, all right, we're going to go for the sleepover. Then you didn't do it. And the baby or the son or your son or child stops reminding you. But he keeps it in the back of his mind. He keeps it in the back of his mind. And in his own heart, he has reached a decision. He has reached a conclusion about father or about mother and about father's words and about mommy's words. So don't build false hopes for your children. Don't build false hopes for them. Or you told them, oh, okay, if you do well in your class, I will do this and do that. And what you are after is just to encourage them, right? You just want to encourage them and inspire them and, motivate them. But you told them that you would do this or that. And then the person did what you told him to do. He did well in his classes. And you never did it. You never did anything. Instead of the hope that you have built up for them, they were left frustrated and disappointed and stranded. That is another thing that, can destroy the relationship between a parent and his child. So between parents and children, your relationship will be ruined when you build hope and you don't come true. You don't come true. You don't fulfill the commitment, and the trust is broken, and that leads to so brokenness of the relationship and trust. Okay, another thing that will lead to the breaking and destruction of relationship, breaking down relationship between parents and children, is too much control. Too much control. If you are controlling your children too much, if you are always, you cannot let them go out of the room, or where are you, what are you doing, all those things. Especially when they are teenagers, you don't want to give them too much control. You don't want to become a policeman to your child. You want your child to have some form of liberty, some form of freedom, trust. They want to feel the trust coming from you. They want to feel that you have confidence in them. They want to feel that you, even though you do, for instance, the principle that I use in the church, and I think this principle to some extent could go in the families. I always say in our church that in our church everything is allowed apart from sin. Everything is allowed apart from sin. And the reason I used to say that is because I read it in the scripture. The Bible said He has called us to freedom. He has not called us to law. So even though we don't use freedom to do the wrong things, but we have been called to freedom, to liberty. So the same thing I think in the family. You should have your rules, your principles, and one of the rules, the most important rule I think you should have in the family is to always have that hour or half an hour or 1 hour of personal interaction, value building hour. That time of value building session with the father, value building session. So that value building session must be there every day. But you have to put the target to do it every day. So where you are developing some key values and key character in your children on a daily basis, you are meeting with them and you are discussing and you are going through one value. So it has to be stable and that has to be predictable all the time. But so you must have some things like that you are doing, or that you make sure, you want to make sure that they do their own work as well. You want to make sure that if there is a distribution of work in the house, maybe someone is supposed to clean today or someone is supposed to wash the place tomorrow, make sure they do what they need to do, but don't control every single minute. Maybe they're supposed to spend just 1 hour on the computer or on TV. You tell them that, okay, your time is up. That you need to control. Maybe they need to make up their rooms. That you need to make sure control. More of oversight than control. More of oversight, control. So as a parent, give more oversight, give more monitor, give more leadership than control. And that control is what really could, chase away your children from home. Okay. If you have not yet shared the link to this message, please go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and share the link to this message. What is Nkiro writing? Nkiro is writing something here. I used to do that early in my marriage, but after my children told me to face my business, that mommy, they told me to my face that, mommy, you always lie. Ooh. That is Tommy. Wow, that's a big one. Thank God they told you that. Thank God they told you that. Mommy, you always lie. Wow. I had to change. No, I rather not promise than promise and not do it. You see? So that is the way children that's the way children perceive that you are, that is a lie. So that is a confirmation of this truth I'm saying. Trust for them is so important. And so they were actually thinking you are lying. Wow. And it's good that they told you, because if they had not told you, it's worse. If they just kept it in their mind and they grow up with that perception of you, that is the most horrible thing, because they will be thinking, they'll be growing up, not really take you ever serious again. They will never ever take you serious. That will be horrible. But the fact that they told you about it, that is so good, because that means they could trust you to share that with you, to tell you about it. TY says they will no longer believe you if you keep on breaking promises. Shijuwade says we have to keep to our words so that they will not take us as liars. Yeah. Bolaji says, we have a culture of family time and meeting. This helps us to know that what is working and what we can do better. Yep. Nikki Christian says, working at children department at the church, most of the children come to me pouring their heart out, asking me, Auntie, why do mom and dad promise to buy this and to buy that, and they never did? The other ones, and now you understand why we don't buy gifts to our children on Christmas or New Year or birthday. In our family, with Pastor Bossa, we don't practice that. We don't buy Christmas gift or New Year gift or Easter gift or happy birthday gift. We don't buy. We don't promise anything. We don't buy anything. We can only promise or buy when we know they really need it. If let's say they need a book for their school or a planchette or a computer or anything they need a practical thing they need for life, then we could buy it for them for, at any time, or to encourage them, or it could fall during the time of New Year or Christmas, but it's not because if they need, we tell them, if you need anything for your Christmas or for your birthday, ask God. He's your father, he's your supplier. We are just the managers here on earth. If you really need it, ask God. And we stand together with them, pray together with them, and say God should provide. And if you really need it, you see, God will provide. If you don't need it, if God didn't provide, it means you don't need it yet. So that's why we don't do that. Because most families, they have created a mindset in their own children that their children must always expect something from them. That their children must always expect something on bad days, on Christmas, on some public holidays. They have that, the children have that expectation. And where do they have that expectation from? Where do they get it from? Do they get it from heaven? No, they got it from what? From the family. You could say no, maybe they got it from other children from the school. Or yes, even our children also go to school and they know that their parents buy things for them, but they know, we explain to our children why we don't do that, because we don't want our relationship to be built on gifts. We want you to know that the greatest gift that you could have is your parents. You are already there. You have that gift every day. And that the greatest gift you have is the love that you enjoy every day, the relation, the warmth, thank God for the family you have. And so when they have birthday, what do? We sit down together, we cook, we eat, and we speak words. We make every member of the family, tell us what they appreciate about each other and about the person who is having the birthday, what they thank God for that person for. And we pray for that person, we congratulate the person, and we enjoy our day. If you want to give a gift, you can write a card. Write some card and write some good things and give to them. Me, as a father, I always give flower to all the girls in their birthday. But those are just about it. So we don't want them to be dependent on material things as the basis for our relationship. Okay. Ewa says, my 18-year-old son has taken up the role of a man in the house and always remind me he's a man now. Yeah, you see. And I should stop telling him what to do all the time. They don't like control. They don't like control. But for me, he's still a baby. What should I do? You have to learn to give him that liberty. You have to learn that he has grown up. He's no more a baby. You have to just be talking to him more as suggestions. You have to more like suggest and give him an idea and suggest things to him, and or tell him your opinion about things rather than commanding him to do things. But about the 18-year-old, I don't know, Ewa, if you were here 2 days ago or 3 days ago, on Sunday, I think, I spoke about how to raise up 18-year-olds, what they should do and what parents could do. Anastasia said, this is amazing about Pastor Sunday not giving gifts to his children. This is so counter-culture, but it is kingdom culture. Yep. Bolaji said, very rightly said, Pastor, this culture I introduced to my children, the necessity of life and importance of trusting God and not focus on things rather than working on relationship. Rather they should work on relationships. Yep. Monica said, also regarding the control thing, some children always do the wrong things. For example, if you as a parent see that your children's room is always untidy and you have continued to tell them every day, and if you don't tell them, the room will be tidy. So is that control if you have to do that? I mentioned that already, that it's not control. These are some of the things that they have to do. So you have to tell them, you have to keep on reminding them. Those are duties rather than control. Like I've already mentioned that you need to just monitor and oversee some of the basic things that they're supposed to do, especially in connection with commitments. Evangelist Moji said, we can have that 1 hour with them by having morning devotion and evening devotion with them. This helps a lot to build value in them, though we may not see the fruits immediately, but when they grow up, it will surely reflect in their lives. Yep. Monica said, Pastor Sunday, thanks so much for this teaching. Most parents, including me, always promise and fail, especially during holiday times. Ooh, confession time. Oh. Confession time, don't come. Oh. Now parents are confessing their sins. Eh? If I were you, though, if I were you, what I would like you to do in this situation is to go, if you remember any instances that you have promised something to your children and you didn't keep it, you didn't keep to the promise, go and call them to, around the table, or call that child and tell the child that, you remember I promised you this and this at a particular time. I couldn't do it, and this is the reason I couldn't do it. Please forgive me. Not that I forgot or I remember, but I just couldn't do it because we had so many crises, or we had so many burden, or so many expenses. It's better to talk and explain things out to them. If you don't explain to them why you didn't do it, and that you actually had it in mind to do, that this is the reason why you didn't do it, then they will just think that you are untrustworthy. But if you call them and apologize to them and repent to them and ask for their forgiveness and for their understanding, they will really appreciate that much more. Samuel Sami said, I realized my own shortcoming out of this. Wow. Thank God. Thank God. Sarah Bukola Adeoye said, awesome. I just stumbled on this broadcast. It is very timely. Thanks, Pastor Sunday. You just stumbled now? Amazing. I've been here every day, twice a day. Can you believe it? I've been here every day, twice a day since May. Since May, I come up twice a day. Can you believe it? Twice a day. Twice a day. 2 times a day. If you go to my Facebook, you see the schedule of when I come out in every country, the time and the schedule. And you could also go and check my timeline, the Facebook, and see the list of the messages that maybe you have missed. I'm sure you'll be excited to see some. Just even going through the list, you might not want to listen to all of the things because there are many, but just go through the list. At least you'll be able to know what you want to hear and or not. So welcome anyway. Congratulations that you stumbled into us at last. Okay, Ngoya Shari said, lying is really dangerous. Your child will not just lose trust, but those negative values are transferred to them. Wow. And at some point, they will start lying too. Yes. And won't see anything wrong with them. Ooh, wow. And then parents get mad, isn't it? Parents get annoyed and get disappointed. But they started it. As a result, this can ruin their entire social life. Parents often think that their kids are too young and don't understand, but it's the opposite. They see everything and adapt to those things. Ooh, wow. That is a harsh one. That is a harsh one. Wow. So let's take here. Nikki Christian said, that is why we always say to our kids, Mom and Dad didn't promise, but we make sure we try our best to do it so they don't put with the whole of their heart open and expectant. Nkiru said, children are manipulators if you allow them. I tell my little champions that don't dribble me to promise what I can't do because I won't. Bukola is saying, Bolaji is saying, I'm so blessed for this great time this morning. I'm looking forward to the evening. Well, I'm not through yet. I still have some. I still have some, I'm not through yet. Shofa Jane Tanajura. Sunday Adelaja, I need to share some things with you. Yeah, write to my email. You can write to my email. My email is pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. Or you could write to the inbox here in Facebook. All right, so what are the other things that, let me give you one more point at least, maybe one or two more points before we go. What are the other things that are responsible for the ruin of relationships between parents and children? What are other factors that could be responsible for the ruin in relationship between children and parents? Again, if you have not shared the link to this message yet, you might want to do it so that you'll be able to watch it over and over again. I promise you will need it sometime. If you don't need it, it's possible your children will need it. So let's share the link. Let's share the message. All right, here we go. So what's the next thing? What's the next point that could lead to the ruin in relationship between parents and their children? Another thing that can lead to a breakdown in your relationship with your children is when you don't pay attention to them, when you neglect them. So neglect is a reason why children don't respect their parents. When you neglect them, when you don't pay attention, when they don't exist for you, and they have to run after you, and they have to call you for your attention, you don't have time for them, you don't, when there is no relationship, no respect, no response, negligence and neglect, those things ruin the relationship between the parents and their children. So when your children is talking to you and you are never here, and that is a major problem that I've seen in a lot of people, not just Africans, anybody. Sometimes you are talking to someone and he's daydreaming, he's absent-minded. You say, okay, yes. But the answer you are requiring was supposed to be no. But he said, yes. You see, he's not hearing you. If you do that with your children, and a lot of mothers do that with their children. So they are doing their cooking, they are doing their whole thing, and the child is saying something, yes, mom, yes, okay. But you are really not there. And if you used to do that, it means that you might have been doing that a lot. And your children, know that it doesn't even worth it to approach you for anything anymore, because your answer is always the same. You're always absent-minded. So that is interpreted to the children as ignoring. That is like negligence. That's like ignoring them. That's like you are totally, that they're not there in your life, and they are not in your life, or you are not in their lives. So it's so when you are with your children, try to be here and now. Try to be there right now. Try to be there here and now. Try to be as much as possible in your conscious mind while you are there. Be consciously involved in the life of your children. Be consciously involved, not just be abstractly involved, not absent-mindedly involved, but consciously involved. And a lot of parents are guilty of this. And they dream. They are daydreaming about something else. Why, they are trying to raise up their children at the same time. And the children could detect that. And the children are feeling neglected. They are feeling neglected. They are feeling abandoned. And they are feeling unloved. Janet says, I also do that. May God help me. Oh. Yeah, you need to control yourself and try to be present. To be present and know that he has all your attention right now. Give him all your attention. Just let him know that you are here for him, and you are hearing him. Every fiber of your body, every cell of your body is here and is committed to him right there. That is important to the child. Olukayode said, Pastor Sunday is a special breed. He came through some challenges in life in order not to be corrupted by cultural attitudes that will have negatively influenced the kingdom culture, which is now well endowed in. We are learning, sir. Well, thank God, thank God. Shigo says, that really hurts. It really hurts them very much. My mom has once told me to make sure I am paying attention before I go off, giving him a wrong giving him a wrong answer as usual. Maybe my child or maybe my boy. Yeah. My mom has once told me, my mom, maybe my son also, that to make sure I am paying attention before I go off, giving him the wrong answer as usual. Okay, she meant to say my son, I see that now. Gladys says, yes, my children said I never listen to whenever they are talking to me. My daughter feels is of not use talking to me because I'm always busy. Yeah. You want to change that, because that is like, ignoring them. That is actually like ignoring them. And later on, let me show you their response. The response of your children to that is this. Later on, they respond like this. Some children will actually do this physically. Some might not do this physically, but it's most likely this is the way they are going to respond to you. When you now want them to listen, they don't listen anymore. When you now want to tell them something, they don't want to hear you. Why? Because you have ignored them before, and you have ignored them for so long. So when you keep on ignoring your children, when you keep on when they keep on talking and you don't hear them, when you keep on saying yes, and giving the wrong answer, they know you are not there for them. And so when you want them to hear you, this is their response. This is their response. They are not ready to hear your grammar and your holiness classes or your righteousness teachings. Because you didn't hear them, you are not there for them. You are always absent-minded when they are talking. You are always lost. And they pay back like this. This is their payback time. Bolaji says it is also very good, helpful to repeat to them what has been said, to affirm to them that you are listening. Gift Amos says a relationship like that, when we don't respond, can actually take away our children's love from our lives. Thandis Katase says, I tell my child to wait until I'm done whenever I'm doing something so that I can give my full attention. Yeah, that's better. Sometimes they don't want to wait because they know I will give them the answer they don't want to hear. Gladys says, that thing, block ears, that is exactly what I'm facing right now from my daughter. She's 18 years old. Wow. Monica also said, my daughter has blocked her ear to me before, and I was so blind. Physically, she blocked her ear physically. Wow. Bolaji said, basically, our neglect model bad behavior for our children. God deliver us all. Yeah, when you neglect them, you don't do that. You just get busy in your own thing, in your own cooking or your own whatever you're doing. And that indicates our signals neglect to them. And then they begin to now neglect you in a more active way. Kunle Adenikwe said, I'm glad to learn all this on time as a young father. Yeah, I hope it helps. She Sandra said, I've told them not to interrupt me with their questions if I'm so busy, so I can give them 100% attention, and it works at times, but not when it is so crucial. Evangelist Moji said, please, I'm inviting to join me on my page, Ideal Christian Woman, every Friday, 6 p.m. Italian time, for video talks and reasoning together. God bless you as you come. See you. Okay, well, yeah, somebody also put this Sunday Adelaja also put my today's article. I hope it's today's article they put. Today's article on MMM. That's my final article. I've been writing about this Ponzi scheme and pyramid in Nigeria that went to Nigeria from Russia. And so this is my 8th article actually. It's called Article 7, but it's actually number 8 because I didn't count the introduction. So so this is the final article that came out today. This article today, you really have to take your time to sit down and have a lot of patience to read through everything, because today's article is the longest one. It's the longest article of them all, and I'm so sorry, especially for the Igbo boys, because those are hard workers. Igbos are very, very enterprising and very, very hard working. But what surprised me is that at the same time, it's a confusion to me, because we all know that Igbos are very hard working, but on the other hand, they are also the ones that fall into this thing, this quick money thing easily, because if on one hand, if you just want to make easy money, you don't need to work hard. But they work hard, but they also fall into easy money deception. That's something, I'm yet to get the balance in that. I'm yet to fix that in my mind. Yeah, because a lot of, like 70% of the people who got to this MMM are Igbo people, and it's so unfortunate. And they're getting their hard-earned money. Can you imagine the money those people, the work those people put in? If you've been to Nigeria or you've been where the Igbo boys are working, they are hard workers. And for that money to go in Christmas time, some people don't have heart. Some people don't have conscience. Some people don't get conscience at all. They only care for their own stomach. Wow. Okay, Dr. Ben Sufficient says that was today's article that was posted. You have the link here. So TY said, thank you, Dr. Dilaja. Love this teenage parenting session. Feel so blessed. Princess Juliet says, I love this teaching, sir. Thank you very much. I will continue tonight. Today this morning I just started this. I will continue tonight by the grace of God. Elizabeth Aina said, good morning, Pastor Sunday and everyone. You just come in. Wow, we are finishing already. Shigo Nwafo said, oh, the Igbo boys are my brothers. So, yep. Chijuade said, thanks very much for this teaching to build family and add values to the family. God richly bless you. Gift Amos, no response to our children can even lead them to be rebellious, exposing them to dangers. Yep. TY, this because Igbo people, that's about MMM articles now. Igbo people are desperate to make it at all costs, no matter what. I think parental and cultural expectation cause this. Shigo, okay, no, sorry, this is Nkiru commending Shigo, our friend there. Shigo said they are not happy with you about that video you did. No, but by the way, Shigo did a video about MMM. Beautiful video. I mean, beautiful video, brilliant. In fact, I shared it on my wall because that video was beautifully done. No emotions, no overreactions, no sentiment. Just pure truth, pure truth, pure truth. Beautiful video. But I warned you though, Shigo. I warned you, Shigo. I told you that even though I was encouraging you to do it, I was thinking that they would not attack you so much. Since your name is totally, you don't even have English name there. Every name there is Igbo. So I thought they will see your name and say, okay, she's our sister. Maybe you will not abuse her publicly like that. I'm sure the abuses are going. You know what? What you should do with those abuses and abusive comments is either to just delete them or to neglect them. You just have to delete them or neglect them, because another thing I don't understand about the Igbo culture yet is that somehow they tend to respond in an abuse. They always abuse you. They always call you names. Now, with the Yoruba culture, even if I'm wrong and I'm an elder, it's a very rare situation. It should be a very rare situation for anybody to say something rude to somebody who is regarded as an elder, or somebody who is successful, or somebody who is, even if you don't see me under the computer in the Yoruba culture, it's almost, you shouldn't have, it's almost, to be abusive is almost something you cannot even imagine, because their culture is like about honor. But even though I see some Yorubas can do that now, but it's a very rare thing. But 90% of the people who are abusive on my platform are the Igbos. It's like it's easy for the Igbo guys. Even the Christians, so somebody will even say it's the pastor. Especially when I was doing the article on Nigeria. Ooh, bye. Now also, but now they are much more careful now, but they're still writing me all kind of things. Yeah, it's part of the thing. If you want to change culture, or if you want to change the world, you have to be temperate. You have to endure abuses. It's part of the thing. So welcome to the club, Shigo. Welcome to the club. But I would not advise you to stop. I would not advise you to stop. If you believe in the truth that you are carrying, I think just continue doing your business. It's your own problem. But it's going to bless somebody else, because one good thing I like about the Igbos also is that those ones who read the article, because most of them I even believe that they don't read it, but those ones who really read, you will find at least some percentage that are smart and are analytical and are going to say, oh, thank you for it. They're going to be blessed by it. Well, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Stella Nohu said, I have been very sober since I read your article this morning. Our situation in this country is very pathetic. Yep. Yeah, but it's not just about MMM that I'm writing in that article. I'm sure you read the one, not from this morning. Maybe you read the one from last night. From yesterday, the one about silence. And that is not just talking about MMM, that's talking about all our national issues in Nigeria, about the world, actually. Silence is a plague of the world, the silence of the righteous and the silence of the majority, of the upright. When every evil happens, only thanks to the silence of the righteous. So when the best citizens of the country are silent about things that are going wrong, of course, everybody suffers as a result. TY says, many comedians make jokes about the Igbo man and his money. They don't play with it. Well, yeah, that's what I say, that because they work hard. Those people work hard. You know, so that's why I think what these people have done, this MMF thing, is going to field strife, antagonism, and hatred for a long time to come. Can you imagine the people who have lost their trade money? They will not forgive. I think they will not forgive in a long time. And somebody told me that the Igbos, with their money, when you rip them of their money or steal their money away, that they don't forgive easily. It could be, you know, some families cannot send their children to school. Some people will not be able to, pay for their hospital bills. Some are not going to be able to go they will not be able to go home for the holidays. Some are not going to be able to finish their house. Some have sold their properties. Some have sold their land. Some have sold their house, their houses. Some have sold their car. So some cars. Some of them will not be able to marry. So this then is going to generate hatred. It is the son of my uncle. That son is his son that has made you not to go to school. That has made me to sell my house. That is responsible for our plight and our poverty. So it could bring family fraud. It could bring even village to village fraud, family to family fraud. You know, it could bring a lot of conflicts and for generations and years to come. That's what I was writing about in my article also. That the reason sometimes why they tell us in our country where we come from, that okay, don't marry from that village. Why? Because something has happened in the history where trust has been violated, and this is the danger of these Ponzi schemes and pyramids. Trust are violated, and they will live for generations to come. They will say, it is because of him that you didn't go to university. He stole our money. He took the money. He tricked us out of our money. That family, don't ever talk to them anymore. Don't ever talk to that your uncle anymore. It's no more your uncle. It's no more a part of this family. Why? Because he's the one who took money and did this and this. This is worse than armed robbery. Because armed robbery, is an enemy. Because they come with guns, they come with violence, they want to attack you. But these ones come with smiles and with the faith that you had in them, and they come and deceive you with smiles. Miracle Ifeoma said, "Daddy, you are an inspiration to us." Me, I know be daddy. I just say, Pastor. Pastor is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Pastor Sunday is all right. Pastor, you are an inspiration to us. I love you so much. Mentor me, Daddy. Oh, no problem. If you want to be mentored, I have mentorship program on my blog. Go to sundayadelajablog.com and you could fill in the mentorship form there. Okay, Harmonica said, Pastor Sunday, oh my God, you mean today's article is the longest? Oh gosh. You can tell the lazy people here. You can tell who doesn't like to read long articles. You can tell Harmonica doesn't like to read long articles. Oh, the fact that it's long, you are supposed to be rejoicing now. You are supposed to be saying, yeah, I can get more wisdom. But if what you are saying is, oh gosh, it's long. As if it's a terrible thing. Is it not more wisdom that will come out as a result? I think you should rather be rejoicing because so much wisdom in that one today. So much wisdom. So you should be rejoicing, not because because the Igbos are hardworking, but they are very desperate and greedy as well. So I'm sorry to say this, but it is true. Thanks for this information about MMM. It's going to help everybody. Miracle, I love you. Thank you. Love you too. I've not been, I don't remember that I've seen so much name. I don't think I've remember. I think I'm seeing your name, Miracle, for the first time. Miracle from, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you. Maybe you've been coming, I've not been seeing you, or maybe you've not been writing things about yourself. But nice to see you. Nice to get to know you, Miracle. By the way, if you have not shared this link yet for this message, you might need it, or your family might need it, or your children might need it. So let's go share the link to this program. Let's go share the link to this program. Nikki Christian say, Pastor, one thing I found so strange is the fact that some parents teach their children how to lie. Ooh. No, I don't think so. I doubt it if that is true. That would be very interesting if that is true. That is very difficult for me to believe. Examples are, wow. Examples are when someone calls the phone and someone tells the kids to say that the caller is, they are not there, they are asleep. Well, you know, that is that's conditional, right? But I think that is more understandable than teaching them outrightly to lie. When I heard that, it was scary for me. Franklin Braithwaite, oh, I missed this already. What time is it in the evening session? Oh, well, I'm there every day, 2 times. Go to my blog, to my face, where you are right now. Go to the timeline or to my whatever, the photograph in the beginning. You see the schedule there. So the schedule is my Facebook picture. So, I don't remember all the schedule. I don't even know where you are to tell you the time. I can only tell you the time here. So go to the schedule there. You will see the time for America, the time for Nigeria, the time for Britain, the time for every place. Shijo Ade said, I've not read the articles yet. I will take my time to read the article. God bless you. Yeah, there are many. I don't think you're able to read the article immediately, but, there are like 70-something pages. So can you imagine, I started out to write an article about MMM, right? And somebody said it's going to be maybe 2 pages. Okay, you don't know Pastor Sunday, but I do my own work very well. I wanted to write 1 article, but I know that article, if I start to write about that thing, I know for sure I will write 50 pages. Can you imagine, just on Monday, Monday, I said, okay, I'm going to begin to write articles on this thing. Sat down, and I know before I put my pen down, 50 pages will be written. So I just said, okay, so that I will not overwhelm, since people don't like to read. If I just write 60 pages, 50 pages immediately, I'm sure nobody is reading. It's like a book. So instead of writing 60 pages straight, so I said, okay, let me write it in parts. Now it is over 70 pages. Nkiru said there is an adage, if an Igbo man is dead and you shake money around him and he still don't wake up, then he's truly dead. Wow. Yeah, that means the money is important to the culture. Harmonica said most Igbos are pushed into desperation to be making about money, to make money at all costs. So it's so bad with this MMM. Gift Amos say, thank you, my mentor, coach, teacher, pastor, above all, doctor, love you. Thank you. Miracle said, my brother is now stranded though. Over ₦1 million is in the fridge. Sorry, freezes. Freeze. That's MMM frozen. Miracle Ifeoma. Your brother put over ₦1 million. Wow. It's so sad. And they are still deceiving people that they are coming back. But they don't tell them that if they come back, they will still freeze again. They will still freeze again, or they will disappear again. Oh, look at you, there's a Pastor Sunday. Some lessons you are teaching here already got answered the reason why the Igbo brothers are patronizing these kings more than others. It is about cultural belief and upbringing. Yeah, that's true. Value system. I understand why it is so, my mentor. Shigo said, they think I am sending bad vibes. That's what the Igbo brothers are thinking. I was ready for it. So hard feelings though. Yeah, don't worry, my dear. It's okay. They are sending the comments to your inbox. Ooh, wow, okay. They're sending them to your inbox. They don't even know you. That is so bad. TY say, yeah, the Igbos can be aggressive too. They fight straight away. You elders or not, they fight everybody. Apostle Yomi said, love of money can lead to disaster for anybody. Ngoya Shari said, Pastor, it looks to me like this is due to parents' wrong understanding of respect, meaning a child simply has to listen and do what they say without objection. But that's not what respect is about. That is going back to the topic of our, not MMM now, but our teaching. If you don't take someone or a relationship for granted, you will make an effort to probably invest in it and show the person that you value and respect them. Their presence, their words, their appearance, their entire being. You affirm them. Parents often take their children for granted and believe children rather own them something. As you have said before, it's really sad because respect is not it's really sad, okay, sad, because respect is not a one-way street, no matter the nature of the relationship. You're right. Oh, look how they say, Pastor Sunday, you have not written the last article on MMM. I will send you some information that you will surely have a reason to address. Wow, okay. Then you have to send them to me. Make you send them. Let me make I see. Sandra said, if I begin to write more articles now, I've already written 70 pages. If it's not the end, you want me to write a whole book? Where I go sell them? Sandra said, yeah, so right, Pastor. I wonder. Nkiru said, because we don't have that culture. I remember how my mommy made me to call someone auntie because she's older than me by 2 years. It was a fighter. Because it's not a popular thing in Igbo land to respect elders. Yoruba culture is very respectful, yeah. Shigonwa for truth is painful, so be strong. Don't let anybody bring you down. One day they will be thankful. That's what Gladys Nwosu is saying to Shiga. TY says, you are right, Pastor Sunday. I was attacked by posting the MMM thing, but like you said, they came to my inbox to address me, not publicly, abusing me, that they are not happy that I posted your article on MMM. You didn't even write it now, you only copied it. So tell me what now, TY, did you stop posting it because they had attacked you? Did you stop copying and sharing my articles now? So now you are no more sharing my articles. You only share that one time, right? People are using intimidation to stop the truth. People try to use intimidation to silence the truth. Nkiru said, she go girl. She go, go. Keep on doing the video, that's what it means. If I were you, Shigo, I would do one in Igbo language, and I would do one in Pidgin also. Deniji said, Pastor, this is what happens when people don't take their time to understand the principles of life. Yeah, you're right. Trying to get rich quick without understanding the structure will always lead to disaster. Yeah, that's so true. Monica said, Pastor Sunday, yes, most Igbos don't respect people. They call anyone by name, either young or old. They are quick to disrespect, though some Yorubas do the same, but not as much as the Igbos. Thanks, Pastor Sunday, for this information regarding MMM. Ekunsami said, good morning. You are just coming, Ekunsami. We don't finish, oh. He said, the present day slavery, which is called job, will not allow me to listen to this till life. I will catch up later. Emmy Bobby said, I've learned a lot from your wisdom, Pastor. Thank you. Stella Nuhu, Pastor, I cried because of your analysis of the youth who are our future leaders. Yeah. Yeah, that is today then. It means you read today's article. Ewa Deniji said, it is true. I know a Nigerian woman that taught her 5-year-old daughter to steal from a convenience shop while she distracts the shop owners in London. Ooh, that's so sad. TY say, my goodness, the article of over 70 pages? Lola, I don't say more wisdom, sir. We love you so much. Shigo is saying rather that your articles make for wonderful reading and I cannot get enough of them. Okay, I'll keep on sending you new ones then. Just for your own reading. Apostle Yomi said the MMM articles is a book already. Oh. She's Sandra, Pastor, you're a great mentor, much love, sir. TY, well, Dr. Sunday, Dr. Adelaja, the articles are very massive. I'm trying to summarize it. I will take my time to read it all. People can't read that long, that much. It'd be like exams. Why are you reciting for people that people will not read that long? And you are trying to summarize it. Which one will you summarize? What do you think to be important and not important? You know the way, I think I agree with Shigo here, because the way I write, for me, I think the style of writing is even more important than even the MMM topic. So if you are really very attentive and detailed, you will enjoy even the process of the writing, the style of the writing, and the presentation of the points, the logic of the delivery. The logic of the delivery itself sometimes is even much more important and much more, than the information itself. So, I think for a smart person, those articles are a learning curve and a learning process, just reading through them. Not just about MMM, but and the fact that people don't want to read doesn't mean that we have to agree with them now. We still have to make them read or encourage them to read at least. Oluwato Pesheum says 70-page article on MMM is a befitting barrier for the scheme. Nigerians won't forget you. TY said yes, but people don't like reading. But we are not supposed to comply or come under people or what they would like to do or what they don't like to do. We are supposed to change them. We are reformers. We are transformers. We are revolutionaries. We are the ones to change them. Yes, they don't like to read. That is what is obtainable now. But somebody has to change that. And we are the ones to change it. Gift Amos said, Nigeria is the truth. They terminate and eliminate people for the truth every day, but God is still with those who love him and that call according to his purpose. Ngoya said, yes, Pastor, you write really well, so elaborate, thought-provoking and personal. Yeah, if you read through, there are some mistakes there because, spelling mistakes or something like that, but because when you are writing so much information at such a short time, mistakes are inevitable, but the general style is really good for people who want to learn. Gladys Nwosu says, some of us Africans don't like to sit down and be relaxed and read. They like audio films that play 6 hours, part 1 to part 10, but not articles that are part 1 to part 10. Olamide Adelaja said, I fell asleep. I have to listen to it later. Okay. TY said, yes, Dr. Adelaja, but we must find a way to get information to them by force. Yes, I agree. So if they don't want to read, we find another way. That's why you're a film producer now. You're a filmmaker. So we are going to rely on your talent. Since people don't like movies, 1 to 10 series, like somebody just said now, that they like films more. So now you go solve that problem for us. I love your articles and I'm wanting people to gain. So I'm thinking how to get the information out. Yep. Let's think. Let's think on that. Thank God. I hope I've written the last one about that, but Ekundayo said I might not have, but we'll wait and see. So thank you so much for everything, and I will talk to you people tonight. I'll continue the topic tonight. Why parents look, what brings about the loss in relationship, the ruin in relationship between parents and children. That continuation will be tonight. All right? Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Bye.